天草、それ切ってくれる？
おっと、そりゃ失礼。エムザッキーはお嫌いで？
M Zaki?
今が気分じゃないだけ。
Oh. Wait. I feel like I remember now. Like, wasn't it... Yeah, I think from what I've been told before, M Zaki was the one who made this particular song over here. Like, I remember people telling me that M Zaki made this, like at the beginning of Game 4. Hell, I think it's also a meme, isn't it? I might as well turn the radio off. Yeah, just take a 5, J-Man. The road of Chiru's sound was immediately swallowed up by the roar of the sea, and bloated up by the ocean's gray. Okay, well, actually this may be a perfect spot for me to say what I have to say, because, oh boy, I have like a lot of things to say. Like, I made like a huge list of hero things to discuss in regards to what happened before, and oh boy, there's like a lot of things that I want to mention before we actually continue. So, yeah. I think this calls for another 10-minute session of me just expressing my ideas until I continue here. So, yeah, once again, folks, wrap your blankets around you, sit around the fire, and just drink your orange juices, because this is probably going to take some time. So, okay. Like, first matter that I want to address is the nature of Battler's sin that Beatrice wants him to remember. Like, of course, Beatrice doesn't want to just straight up tell us, but I'm thinking of the possibility that maybe Battler didn't keep some form of promise, because I remember way back in Game 2, I believe, when she stated in red that she keeps her promises. Like, I made sure to always keep this in mind about her, because to me it sounded very important. It must have some huge importance for it to be said in red, which tells me that if someone were to break their promises, in Beatrice's eyes, that would be considered a huge sin. Like, more than anyone else would. So, I'm thinking Battler's sin must have something to do with a promise, like he didn't keep. That, and I also thought that maybe this has something to do with love, because, you know, this entire thing is chock full of love themes. So maybe something happened in Battler's past that has to do with love. Like, it has to do with the love of a person. And, well, because of this sin, like, whatever it is, it broke that love that once was. Like, what this sin is, I still can't tell you, but I bet my money that this sin isn't the rage of it is in the range of a broken promise and like some form of love involved in it. So yeah, there's that. I also thought that this particular thing here about a different kind of nature to Battler's sin, and that is how Battler mostly thinks of himself and not the others. Granted, it's not like he is a huge asshole who doesn't give a fuck about people's deaths or anything. But I am very much open to the idea that if we think of Battler not remembering a promise or something, whatever it is meant absolutely nothing to him like 6 years ago when he made that promise. However, like, whatever it is means a lot to others, like Beatrice. So that would imply that he is mostly thinking of himself. And thus, we can say that it is a sin. So, yeah, there's also that. Because Battler, like, he is a very prideful person. Like, he has his pride. Like, he ain't the most selfish person. But at the same time, he's not the most selfless either. Like, you think about someone like, say, Jessica, and you are 100% convinced that Jessica is the most selfless person out of the entire family. Like, she thinks a lot about the well-being of Kanon, and wants to help him become a better person and heal him. Beller, on the other hand, he is not Jessica. And, like, I think back on when Maria went to do the test herself, like when she left, and Beller was left alone to talk to Beatrice on the phone. Like, Maria kept talking about the Golden Land and her being okay with everyone dying, and Beller keeps thinking that something is wrong with Maria, and like, I had this really, like, huge wish of wanting Beller to understand and help Maria. Like, I know that it is a difficult thing to do during the game when everyone is dying, and Beller is mostly focused on defeating Beatrice, but like, I kind of wish Beller, like, to be the type of person that talks to Maria about what is going on and, you know, help her in that sense. Like, I remember back in game 1, actually, when he gave Maria the scorpion charm, like, back, when she had to leave the study room at the end. Like, he thought of Maria deeply and wanted her to be safe, and gave her the magical charm back, which would protect her. Even if he doesn't believe in magic. Like, I need more of that coming from Beller, but as of now, like, the only one who is truly capable of helping Maria would be Angie, out of all people. And she's not part of the game board. She is outside. So there's that. And if possible, Jessica would be able to help as well. Like, Jessica would try and do the same, so yeah. So the next topic that I have on the list over here is the qualification of Beller's test over here, like continuing the game and all. Like, I have hinted in the previous part at the idea that I hinted at the idea that I came up with, like in the last part, that is similar to what I thought of for the Red Web, which is the name and personality. Like, they are the key important parts of this quote-unquote puzzle. And that when Asumu died, like, the Beller from 6 years ago, the one who was, like, the one he once was, died at that point. And, you know, he left the family at, like, a new person, like, with the same name. And now this Beller over here that we have right now is not the same, is not of the same personality as the old Beller from 6 years ago. But, you know, they are still the same person who holds the same body. So that was what I thought of in the previous part. That is what I was trying to hint towards Beller in that sense. But I actually thought of a second theory for it. In the sense that two Bellers can exist. Now, I know this sounds contradictory, so hear me out here a little bit. If present Beller is not born from Asumu, then it would tell that he is not part of the family, which would not make him qualified to continue the game. But what if we state in red that this Beller is Rudolph's son? Or that this Beller is born from Rudolph's semen, or something like that. Like, if this red truth is real, then Rudolph truly is his father, even if Asumu is not her mother. Like Rudolph being his father still makes him qualified to be part of the family and continue the game. I mean, which would imply that Asumu is not his biological mother. Like, she did give birth to Ushiromiya Beller, but it could be a different Ushiromiya Beller that has nothing to do with his family. Like, it can very well be that this Beller, like present Beller, was Like, it could be that he was born from Kirie, not Asumu. And that Asumu, well, she is still considered his mother, it is not his biological mother. Like, hell, Asumu could very well not be part of the family. Like, maybe we're dealing with some kind of problems with, the family register. But Rudolph, he definitely is, because, well, he is Kinzo's son after all. Well, I mean, unless we're gonna go with a sudden twist and say that that Rudolph is not Kinzo's son. Unless we're to go with that kind of sudden twist, I think that this should suffice. And if not, well, we'll still have the first theory that I came up with. I mean, if both my first and second theory are not gonna work, and that Rudolph is not Kinzo's son, then I guess we can go with a third theory over here and try to state in red that this battler is Kirie's son. Like, I mean, she must be part of the family register at this point, right? But I guess, like, I don't know, as long as Rudolph is not Battler's father and that he didn't come from Rudolph's semen, then I guess even that theory would not suffice. So, like maybe if I'm to think more, I could come up with a new theory, like a fourth theory, just to have it with me, in case something bad happens. Other than that, those are pretty much the main ideas that I have for this. So, yeah, there's also that. Now, one last thing that I wanna address in regards to what happened before is about Beatrice. Like, I gotta say, I do believe that I made a mistake before. Like, in the last parts, in the last 2 parts or so, I went with the mentality that Beatrice actually knows what she's doing. Like, I went with that kind of mentality. And that her attacking Battler with the red shoes was some form of test for Battler. And that she knows that this is the real, legit Battler and not some stranger. And she wants Battler to overcome the hurdle, like the hurdle of the red shoes and all. But maybe that's not the case. Like, maybe she doesn't have faith in what is going on. And then maybe she does think that this Battler is a complete stranger. And she's sad because of it. Like, someone actually commented on this and said that this isn't just miscommunication on Bella's part, but also Beatrice's. Like, she herself cannot fully comprehend what is going on. That she's trying really damn hard to communicate her thoughts and all. Like, if she were to be a little more forward with what she wants. Actually, hold on. Let me just pause here a little bit. There are some technical hiccups over here. I'll be back in just a second. Okay, I think that we're good right now. So yeah, we're what was I talking about before? Like, about miscommunication. Okay. Like, I remember somebody commented on this, and they said that there's also like some form of miscommunication coming from Beatrice, not just Battler. Like if she were to be a little bit more forward with what she wants, to get across, it would definitely be a lot better for me and Battler. But no, we are in this situation over here. I mean, it is just as I said before about Beatrice, that she is speaking in riddles. Which, I personally thought of this as just part of the story, because if Beatrice were to tell us straight what her problem is, then we would solve this faster, and thus the story of Umineko would end up a lot faster. Or, hell, we could just end Umineko like right here. But instead, maybe I should think that Beatrice has problems saying it. I mean, it is the same as the entire situation with Game 3. Like, if you remember, like, Beatrice was not as mastermindy as she is letting on. Like, she can be quite like a child at times. Like, same for Game 3, and I guess part of it is also shown here, but like less childish and more like a confused teenage girl that doesn't know how to talk to a boy or something like that. And it is because of that Belly needs to try and understand Beatrice. Like, try to get through this. Like, reach the answer and prove to Beatrice that he is the one and only Ushiromiya better. So yeah, there's that. And I think that is about it. Yeah, I think that those are all the ideas that I wanted to get across. My God, how much time did I spend on just talking about this sort of stuff? It's probably more than just 15 minutes, isn't it? But yeah, we shall continue and see about confronting Beatrice again, hopefully. Like, to set things straight next time. Like, we have to. We have no choice. Like, we're not done yet, Beato. Let's get to it.
見えるかいあの辺が当時の船着き場だ
Hey there, Captain Kawabata. The boat captain pointed, but I couldn't really recall how it looked 12 years ago. I had believed that my memories of back then would come flooding back into my mind. But no memories were coming back to me at all. After the incident, the island was sealed off and left to the wild. Probably that's understandable. Like, I had to tell myself to stop myself from feeling somehow sad and hurt. But at least I remember one thing. You could say that it would probably be the same anywhere on the sea, but at least this one I think I do remember. The cries of the seagulls. Umineko no Naku Koro ni. I do remember those. I almost never went to the ocean when I was young. So to me, everything that symbolized the ocean meant Toro Kenjima and my family getting together. In short, it was a symbol for the happiness of going out with my family. However, at this point in time, it even seems doubtful whether that was happiness at all. In my younger days, the trip had felt like a relaxed family vacation, but considering my parents' situation at the time, it was surely a very difficult trip to handle, with the distribution of the inheritance filling the place with the smell of flaring tempers and fuses about to blow. I can remember giggling all over the place, completely ignorant of my parents' feelings.
六軒島ですかい
I mean, for Pete's sake, Angie, you were 6 at that point. You couldn't even comprehend what your parents had to deal with. Like, with the matter of Maria and the Maria Sorcier, and you hurting Maria at that age, I guess in the end we still need to apologize, but at that point, Angie, you could not even understand a single thing about what your parents went through. You were 6 years old. You couldn't understand a thing. Hell, you probably... Were you even able to count at that point? Were you able to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? I don't know. Actually, I think you would, but still, it's... You shouldn't feel bad about not understanding what went on at that point, Angie. You should not.
全ての始まりで全ての旅の終着駅ってわけだ
Of course, I tried too hard and attempt to speak for my innermost feelings. The boat slowly rounded the island. As the angle changed, I hoped that my memories of the island silhouette at the time might come back just a little. But in the end, even as the inlet was completely hidden by the cliffs, I wasn't able to remember anything.
船長、さっきのもう一つの船着き場の話を聞かせてください。
六軒島には船着き場は一つしかないことになっとる。だがそれは表向きだ。
島裏のもう一つの隠された船着き場。六軒島そのものね。誰も知らない二つ目のもう一つの顔がある。
六軒島は後ろ宮家の領有する島だ。だが金蔵さん個人が所有する島というもう一つの顔がある。
一つの島、二つの船着き場、二つの屋敷ですかい？愛人を囲うためだけに随分と金をかけたもんだ。
もう一つの船着き場のことを知る人間は
限られとる。金蔵さん、執事の源氏さん、わしら船の関係者、高齢の使用人がほんの数人だ。南城診療所の先代先生も熊沢のばあさんも知っとった。数えりゃ結構いるような気がするが、とにかく知っている人間はわずかだった。
そのもう一つの屋敷について教えてください。
クワドリアンちゅう名前のお屋敷があるとだけは聞かされとった。わしは船を離れることを許されんかったから一度も見たことはないが。
You were actually told about this.
船着き場からは見えないくらいに遠いということですかい？
Unless we're talking about after the incident.
わからん。ただ隠し屋敷だからな。外からは見えん場所に建ててあったろうな。とにかくクワドリアンについてはあの島の最高の秘密だった。
クワドリアンにベアトリーチェが住まわされていた、あるいは幽閉されていたという説がありますが、船長はどう考えますか？
I mean, I am thinking of that too.
わしはクワドリアンへの雑貨も運んでおった。その中に女しか使わんような、それも高級なもんが含まれることも多かった。わしもその説を確信しとる。
では船長はベアトリーチェって女を直接見たことはないわけですかい？
ない。20年近く出入りをしたが一度も見たことはない。
20年？ひゅー。ってことは最低でも年齢プラス20ってわけだ。こりゃマドモアゼルは期待できねえな。
だがクワドリアンへの出入りはある日を境にぷっつりとなくなっちまった。今からだいたい30年前だから昭和43年頃だったと思う。
So you stopped showing up at the extra arbor near the Quadorian. Well, I assume that the extra arbor is near Quadorian, but all trips to there stopped at 1968.
ぷっつりと突然
1968.
食料やゴミなどの運搬往来でわしらは決められた日程で裏に行っとった。ああ、裏っちゅうのはクワドリアン側の船着き場のことだ。
わかります。それで
ある日源氏さんから急な連絡があった。別の指示があるまで裏には行かなくていいって言うんだ。
別の指示とは？
特にはなかった。早い話がある日突然裏には今後定期便はいらない、食料も届けなくていいと言われたわけだ。わしは最初クビにされたのかと思ったよ。
I guess that is another piece of evidence that tells us that Kuwadori Beatrice died at that point. Like, I know we have been shown the whole scene with Beatrice and Rosa getting out of Kuwadorian, and Beatrice died by falling off the cliff. And I guess there's also this piece of evidence, because once she died, like in 1967, somewhere around that time, there was no need for any women, like women stuff to be delivered, or food or anything like that. Like regular service, there was no need for that at Kuwadorian. Kinzo basically stopped the regular service, and no one was allowed to go to Kuwadorian anymore, including the boatman over here.
だが、すぐに気づいた。それに、クワドリアンのことを知る使用人たちの様子からも、なんとなく察しがついた。
ベアトリーチェが死んで、食料を届ける必要も、世話人を送る必要もなくなった。
Yeah, I'm thinking that as well.
わしはそう考えとる。それっきり裏へ船を出せという指示は受けてない。しかし裏については死ぬまで何も喋るなと。その後源氏さんが直接わしのところへ来てえらく強く念を押した。
その20年間も放置されていた隠し屋敷にどうしてエヴァおばさんが？
On that day 12 years ago, Ushumiya Eva was somehow escaped harm alone in a hidden mansion 2 kilometers away from the regular mansion. Why was she in a hidden mansion that had been forgotten for 20 years?
ワイドショーで見たよ。わしにも何が何だかさっぱりわからん。エヴァさんを裏へ案内したことは一度もない。どうやってクワドリアンを知りたどり着いたのか、わしにはさっぱり見当もつかない。
I mean, I've thought of this before. Either we're talking about Kinzo actually telling Eva about the location of the gold, and that she didn't solve the riddle of the epitaph. Kinzo told Eva about the location of the gold, and maybe it is at Kuwadorian. Although I'm also thinking that the gold is somewhere inside the chapel or something like that. The reason why we have that door, like this door opens at the probability of 1 in a quadrillion, and it has something to do with the epitaph. Thus, it makes me think that the chapel has something to do with the location of the gold. But if it's not that, then I can definitely see it being Kuwadorian, and Kinzo told about the location of the gold at the Kuwadorian. But what was I trying to say there? Oh yeah, it could also be possible that the location of the gold was told via the epitaph. Like once Eva sold the epitaph herself, it gave her the location of Kuwadorian being the where the gold is. So there's that.
裏のクワドリアンに陸路で行くことは不可能だったのかしら。
It could well be possible.
もしも話通りに未開の密林だとしたら、おめかしした奥様風情に踏破できるもんじゃありませんぜ。
Like, unless Rosa were we think of Rosa actually going to the shore and then following it and then find some particular path, like an easy path to Kuwadorian.
じゃあ回路？モーターボートみたいなものがあったとか？
まさかあの二晩の台風はそりゃひどいもんだった。船なんぞ使えるわけもない。
True. I mean, it can very well be possible that, we don't know the full details here yet. Maybe Eva went to Kuwadorian, after the typhoon went away. Otherwise, yeah, going 2 kilometers to Kuwadorian on land while the typhoon was going, like while with the heavy rain during those 2 days, that would be really, really difficult. Like, it was really, really dark as well. Like, whether during the day or during the night, because of the rain, it was really, really dark. So it would be very, very difficult to go to Quadorian in those 2 days. So either Eva went to Quadorian after those 2 days passed, or Eva actually used a hidden passageway from the main mansion to Quadorian, because we recently learned, well, through the magical claim, we don't know if the human claim is actually true about this, but in magic claim we've seen that there is a path from Quadorian to the mansion, and Eva could have definitely used that if she learned it from Kinzo, or she learned it from the epitaph and such, or she found out at some point in the past about the location, about the hidden passage to Quadorian. So yeah, it's either the hidden passage during those 2 days, or she went on land, like after the typhoon.
じゃあ屋敷とクアドリアンを直通する、例えば地下通路のようなものがあったとか。
There you go. That is indeed another idea.
愛人の家へ出入りするのに毎回船の用立てが必要なんて面倒でしょ。
Yeah. And it would certainly be difficult to just go, like, since we don't really have like a direct path to Quadorian, because that would be a little too obvious. So if Kinzo were to just go by land to Quadorian, he would definitely have to go through the forest and like ocean and such, and that would take a long time. So having like a hidden passageway like this, like easily constructed for Kinzo, that would be much easier for him to go to Quadorian each time.
全長 2km の六軒島の対角線上に存在する屋敷をつなぐためにそんだけの長い地下トンネルを
Yeah. Because, again, if we had a hidden entrance inside the mansion, like the main mansion, Kinzo would be able to go through that easily without being detected. But if there was no hidden passageway and Kinzo had to go by land to Quadorian through the forest and all that, he would definitely have to exit the main mansion each time. And he would definitely be seen by the other members of the family, by his sons and daughters. Cause I remember like one discussion that we had before, well, not discussion, but I feel like I remember Kraus telling us about his attempt at following Kinzo, which I think at that point it was by land, I think. That, or he tried to follow Kinzo through the mansion, but in the end couldn't find the hidden entrance. Kraus never managed to catch Kinzo in the act of opening the hidden entrance.
バカにしてえところだが、愛人のために隠し屋敷まで作っちまう大富豪だ。
Yeah.
それも否定できんところですな。どうなんですか、船長。
わしは海の人間だ。穴のことはわからん。だが、硫黄島で旧日本軍は25キロのトンネルを掘ってみせたぞ。
Iwo Jima.
あの金蔵さんなら2キロくらい掘ってみせてもわしは何も驚かん。
やっぱりおかしな島ね。私たちはこの島のことを未だ誰一人何も知らない。
The boat reached the shore. There will be a short walk to reach the mansion. Like, this is a really beautiful view here. It surely is a beautiful view here. Like, I could just sit here like all day and look at this. Man.
わしはここで待っている。
Like, I remember the first time I saw this view when we saw like 1967 from Rosa's perspective, and she went to the shore and went to Kuadori, and we saw this. It was truly beautiful.
屋敷は向こうだ。当時の道が残っているだろうが、草木で覆われてしまってるはずだ。迷わんように気をつけてな。
ほんじゃ行きましょうかね。
Alright, let's go.
ありがとう、天草。あんたもここで待ってて。
No?
ま、そう言い出すんじゃないかと思ってましたぜ。
Okay, well, I hope that things are gonna be okay, that nobody else is on the island right now. Like, I feel worried about, what was that woman's name? Sumadera, I think, okay. Like, I am worried about Sumadera. Reason why I don't want Angie to be alone. I want Juza to be with her. No.
届け物をするだけよ。あなたが一緒だと向こうが迷惑するの。あんたの毒素強そうだから。
毒素
Oh.
はて
Yeah, I guess there's also that.
すぐに戻るわ。今日の本命はクアドリアンの方だもの。
Yeah, I think that for Angie's sake, in order to reflect, she does need Saktaro, Mamon, and the stakes. In which case, yeah, that's another reason for Juza to just stay behind over here. Like, if Sumadera were to come over here, Juza, you definitely should tell Angie as fast as possible.
届け物をしたらすぐに戻ってくるわ。
Okay. Cause I know that, forgetting that woman's name, Sumadera, will eventually come here as well after Angie. Like she is after Angie. Angie put on her knapsack and grabbed the flowers she was planning to offer.
さしてやれ、若いの。行ってこい、お嬢ちゃん。あんたの家族が待っている。
Alright, well, let's go. I had never been on the road like this, but I had no trouble finding my way. If I walk straight ahead, it will probably guide me to the final destination for everything. The vegetation certainly was incredible, and you will lose track of the path if you were careless enough to let your attention adrift. But although what that was left was much better than I had imagined. Still, that didn't change the fact that it was a bad road. Contrary to the distance shown on the map, I was forced to walk a long way. And the forest was deep and dark. At the time, I had been threatened into staying away from the forest because a witch lived there. Of course, that fear is gone now. But I feel it. Other people may not be able to, but I can feel the presence, like an aura, of the Golden Witch Beatrice. Massive, oddly shaped rocks scattered here and there, and overgrown trees and ivy. And the voices of birds and bugs. Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel that the witch is here. Ahead, an ivy-covered construction site fence and warning sign stood. No entry. Tokyo Metropolis. And that was written on it. Alright. When you think Tokyo, you tend to think of a city, but address-wise, even Rokkanjima is a rightful part of Tokyo Metropolis. Apologizing to the sign for my mistaken impression, I climbed over the fence. Yeah, too little too late, Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department. When I made it the steep slope beyond that, my field of vision rapidly expanded. And a fresh sea breeze blew through my hair. Yeah, it was like the top of a little hill. Below me was a vast view of the island. I could only see desolated forest and rocky crags spread out below me. But somehow, I realized the dimension was probably somewhere around there. And the steep downward slope beyond this hill had probably been caused by landslides from 12 years of wind and rain. Yeah, it had become a slant filled with cracks that you might even call gentle cliffs. And though it would be easy to tumble down, it looked like climbing back would be pretty difficult. It seemed that proceeding any further would be impossible. If I continued any further, I wouldn't be able to return. Are you kidding me? In other words, this is the border between 1986 and 1998. And that day and today. In this world and the other.
ここがこの旅の終着点みたいね。
As a strong wind blew Mama and Sakata's hair, they looked down from the hilltop.
ここからじゃさっぱりわからないわ。お屋敷はどこ？もっと近づきましょうよ。無理だよ。戻ってこれなくなっちゃうよ。
I'm starting to think that we may have actually taken a wrong path over here. We probably went a completely different direction from the usual route to the mansion. I'm thinking that this is not it. We won't be able to come back. Huh. Angie? Do not be thinking what I'm thinking here. Do not. He's right. This is 1998. And I am the Ushirome Angie who has been left all alone. At first, it was a journey to die. But not anymore. It has become a journey to accomplish something.
だからごめんね、二人とも。あの日の私なら何も戸惑わずにこの崖を降りるだろうけれど。
ビルの屋上から飛び降りた後宮エンジが情けない。
ごめんね。
ここでも同じだよ。あの日の風が感じられるから。